So, what is sentence and why is it important? Sentence is the basis of any language. Understanding and writing, communicating any language begins with the understanding of a sentence. So, particularly in English language, it is the first step towards English communication. So, sentence, let's begin with the definition. Sentence is a group of words that makes complete sense. Sentence अल्फाज का मजमुआ जो कि कोई सेंस दे, जिसका कोई सेंस बने, that is called a sentence. For example, defeat is not the end of life. शिकस्त ज़िंदगी का इख्तिताम नहीं होती. That is a sentence because it gives us complete sense, right? Whereas on the other hand, there is something called phrase. Phrase is a group of words that does not give us complete sense. That means, in other words, it gives incomplete sense. For example, beside the shelf, ठीक है, or on the chair. That does not give us complete sense. How? Beside the shelf. What is beside the shelf? It is not telling us the whole thing, right? Or on the chair. What's on the chair? Right? It's a fragment included in some conversation, and we don't know that. So this sentence, like, it has some sense, but not a complete sense. Like, we do understand that there's something beside the shelf, but we just don't know what is beside the shelf. Or if somebody is asking you where's this thing, right? Like, ये चीज़ आप मुझे बताएं कि ये चीज़ कहाँ पे पड़ी है, ठीक है? तो आपने उसको कहा कि beside the shelf, ठीक है? There is this is the short like a short answer for that, to that question, but we don't know the context basically, so it can be anything. So it does not give us complete sense of what is the person saying in the context, what is the context basically. So the phrase, it is incomplete sense, and the sentence, it is the group of words that gives us complete sense. So there are basically typically two parts of the sentence. One is the subject, that is the main focus. Okay, like, there is the subject, main focus of the sentence, and the other part other than the subject is the predicate. Okay, so for instance, in this sentence, defeat is the main focus, so it is the subject, while is not the end of life is the predicate, that is other than the subject, right? For example, there is another sentence that says this is not my pen, right? So the pen, it is the subject, and the other thing is the predicate, right? So let's move to the kinds of sentence. There are basically 5 kinds of sentence. Assertive sentence or declarative sentence, we can say, that declare something. Declarative sentence, oh my god. Declarative sentence that declare something, that tell something directly, right? That give a statement basically. So the assertive sentence, they give a statement. And the second one is interrogative sentence, in which a question has been is being asked. So there is a question in interrogative sentence. And in imperative sentence, there are four things basically. Either it's a command, right? Or a request, or advice, prohibition, and sometimes suggestion too. For example, let's go for a walk. There's a suggestion, right? So suggestion may also be included in imperative sentence. And the fourth type of sentence, that is exclamatory sentence, a strong feeling or emotion is being expressed. Strong emotion or feeling is expressed. And the last type of sentence, that is optative sentence, you express a wish or hope, wish, desire, or some hope, right? So these are the 5 kinds of sentence. So here's a sentence. I'm having meal. मैं खाना खा रही हूँ, right? So it is simply describing the state you're currently present in right now. So a sentence that gives a statement that declares something is an assertive sentence, okay? So the assertive sentence can be either positive or negative. A positive assertive sentence, for instance, is she lives in Canada. वो कनाडा में रहती है, ठीक है? Or Pakistan is a beautiful country. Islam is the religion of peace, right? These are positive assertive sentences. A direct declaration of something, you know. And another type of assertive sentence is a negative assertive sentence. For instance, he has not done his homework. उसने अपना homework नहीं किया है, ठीक है? So that's a negative assertive sentence. For example, another example of this can be like, he's not my friend and she's not gonna come, right? So these can be the examples of negative assertive sentence. Oh, and one thing to note here is that assertive sentences always end with a full stop. Why? Because they are a declaration, right? They are a statement, and a statement has to end with a full stop, right? And now the second type of sentence is interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentences are the sentences that ask some question and a query or whatever. So basically they ask, right? So interrogative sentences can be basically formed by 3 ways, by 3 things: either interrogative pronouns or auxiliary verbs or modal verbs, ठीक है? अब interrogative pronouns क्या होते हैं? ये होते हैं हमारे पास जो WH से स्टार्ट होने वाले जो वर्ड होते हैं ना, वो फॉर एग्जाम्पल which, why, who, where, etc. और what, etc. etc. ठीक है? यहाँ पे भी मैंने एक लिखा है where. So these are basically interrogative pronouns. ये शुरुआत में लिख कर के सेंटेंस के, ठीक है, आगे आप कोई क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं. दिस इज one way, right? And the second way is auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs are those verbs you used as helping verbs in tenses, right? Such as be. The be verbs is am, are, was, were, etc., right? And the be verbs, and there is has, and its different forms used in different tenses. For example, had been, or has been, etc., etc. And there is something do, and its various forms: did, does, do, does, and that's all about the auxiliary verbs. And the modal verbs are may, might, and shall, should, will, would, can, could, etc. So these are the modal verbs. These are the three ways basically through which you can form an interrogative sentence, right? So here are some examples. Where are you going? Which necklace looks better? So you are asking questions. ठीक है, so these are examples of interrogative sentence. And something to note here is that they always end with a question mark, because a question is being asked in these sentences, right? So what you have to do basically, I'm teaching this in the lecture, but you have to you just not have to understand this, but you have to practice it by forming sentences with each type. And for example, there is assertive sentence, ठीक है, इसके भी दो टाइप है, पॉजिटिव assertive sentence and negative assertive sentence, ठीक है. इंट्रोगेटिव 3 तरीक़ों से बना सकते हैं, तीनों तरीके से आपको सेंटेंसेस बनाने हैं. ये आपके पास इंट्रोगेटिव प्रोनाउंस हैं, दिए हुए हैं, ऑक्सिलरी वर्ब्स हैं, मॉडल वर्ब्स हैं, ठीक है, पॉजिटिव assertive नेगेटिव, और आगे चल के जो भी मैं पढ़ाऊँगी. You have to make sentences with like the each type के sentences आपको बनाने, at least 2 sentences, and write down in the comment section, right? So you have to write those sentences in the comment section. You have to practice every day these sentences, so it can form the base of English communication. Okay, now here's the third type of sentence, that is imperative sentence. Imperative sentences can be basically written in these ways. Either it can be a command, a sentence that expresses a command, or a request, or an advice, a prohibition, or a suggestion. So in terms of command, you can say make your bed, ठीक है, अपना बेड ऑर्गेनाइज करें, or clean your desks, right? So this is an example of an imperative sentence. Or in terms of request, you can say please help me, please borrow me your pen, lend me your book. So these are the examples of requesting imperative sentence. And in terms of advice, you advise someone, like it is prominent from the sentence that you are advising someone, right? For example, stay hydrated by drinking plenty of water. I could not write of water here, so ignore it. But for example, you can also say that don't eat too much sugar, ठीक है, उससे visible हो रहा है कि you are advising someone that it is harmful, it is hazardous to your health, so you should not eat too much sugar, right? And another is don't spoil my surprise. So it is prohibition. You are prohibiting someone from doing something, you are preventing them. So it is also an example of imperative sentence. Or you can also give a suggestion, a proposal. For example, how about trying a new restaurant, right? So it is a suggestion. So you can also say let's go for a walk, let's plan a movie night. So these are the examples of imperative sentences. You also have to make the imperative sentences in the comment section with each of these. You have to make a command, a request, advice, prohibition, and suggestion. Okay, now the which number is that? Okay, the fourth type of sentence is exclamatory sentence. It shows a strong emotion or a strong feeling. It shows, it expresses a strong feeling. A sentence that expresses a strong emotion, emphasizes something, is an exclamatory sentence. For example, what a beautiful view, or how brilliant you are. You're praising someone, right? So these are the feelings, strong feelings. These are the examples of exclamatory sentence. You can also say, wow, that's amazing. Hooray, we won the match. So these are the examples of exclamatory sentence. Now, the thing to note here is that exclamatory sentence always end with exclamation mark. Okay? And the last type of a sentence is an optative sentence. Optative sentence, the sentence that shows wish or hope, is an optative sentence. For example, if only I had more time. आप किसी से ये कह रहे हैं, for example, you are at somebody's आप किसी के गेस्ट बनकर आप गए हैं, ठीक है, and they are insisting के नहीं, रुक जाएं. That usually happens in brown families. So but you are saying that if only I had more time, that means कि आपके पास time नहीं है, ठीक है, तो काश मेरे पास time होता. So there's something that shows a wish that that is not possible, ठीक है. तो जब if only लगाते हैं, that means के you are wishing something that's not possible at the time being. So that's an example of optative sentence. And another example is, may you have a nice day. That's a wish. You are greeting somebody. And the last example I've stated here is, wish you were here. काश आप यहाँ पे होते, ठीक है. तो these are the examples of optative sentence, and that's all the wrap up for this statement of the definition of sentence and all the types of sentence. And I hope you got the concept of the sentence, and I really want that you must practice the types and write down the examples and practice speaking it and build your communication skills. Okay, so wish you best of luck. Goodbye.